Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today to do an update on my favorite socks and shoes. The socks I've been wearing for over 2 years, and the shoes, well, it's only been 6 months, but I still want to give you an update. Initially, this was just going to be about the socks, but I figured I'd go ahead and throw in the part about the shoes. So let's talk first about the socks. Like I said, over 2 years ago, I bought my first pairs of Darn Tough socks. It took me a while to finally invest after hearing about them because I've never paid that much for a single pair of socks before. And I'm going to show you these pairs. They've become a little stretched out over the years, but they still fit great. I usually bunch my socks around my ankles anyway, so that doesn't bother me, and they don't fall down. They're not, this part here is fine. They're mostly just kind of stretched out in the body of the sock, but this is the part that's super cool. So these are, again, Darn Tough socks. They're made here in the US in Vermont, and normally, even with smart wool socks, which when I buy kids pairs, I would pay $10 a pair for, the adult size ones can be as much as the Darn Tough socks. Well, I would still, even with those, I became very disenchanted with them because within 6 months I was wearing holes in them. And then if I go with the cheaper wool socks, the cheaper brands, the ones that are made in China, I can wear a hole in those in as little as a month because I'm on my feet so much during the day, and I'm constantly, it's not even just about standing in one place, it's constantly moving around. I wear holes in my socks very quickly. But in the Darn Tough socks, I've yet to have a single hole. Now I can see right here, it's the first time I noticed this, it's starting to look just a little bit thin right there. The color looks different, but it's still pretty thick. And again, these are the very first pair I bought. I see the same thing on this sock. But other than that, the sole of the sock is still very thick. I do have some other thin spots, which is kind of funny, right around the edges, around the top, a place I'd never wear holes in my socks before. But that just shows you the socks have been worn a lot. I do make it a point, and have ever since I bought the first 2 pairs, to wear these as much as possible. Now, as you can see, here's just a small collection of what I've been collecting for the past 2 years. Every couple months I buy a pair or 2, and I also get a pair or 2 for Patrick. He loves them. He says they're the best socks he's ever had. In fact, he feels kind of spoiled now that I've been getting them those socks. He says because they're the only socks that actually stay up when he wears them. And anyway, like I said, I've been trying to focus on wearing these ones as much as possible. So I was trying to plan this video around such a way that I'd have different socks on my feet so I could show you both of them. Now this pair here I bought very shortly after the blue pair, but I still wear them just as much. No thin spots yet on the sole, no holes whatsoever, but a few thin spots just like on the blue ones around the top. Now, they're the only socks that have developed any kind of thin spots at all out of all my Darn Tough socks, but it's because I wear them more than the others. Some of these I try to save and keep nice. So I have a pair of solid black ones I only wear for just in case my feet are going to show. You know, if I got it, because you go to a friend's house, take your shoes off, and I like to make sure I have some nicer looking socks, not some that are not looking so pretty. And this is one of those. So this is actually the first pair that I bought. That was the boot cut, where they're longer. I typically like these ones here. They're a mid-weight sock, and these are called the Micro Crew because they don't come up as tall as these ones because I'm short. But I find I like these just as much because, well, I bunch my socks anyway, so these are great for when I need to keep my ankles a little bit warmer. I have more to bunch. So anyway, very pleased. Now, Darn Tough Socks has a lifetime guarantee. If you ever wear a hole, you can actually get a free pair of socks if you send them back. And that alone tells me that they're going to last a long time. I'm personally not so concerned about getting replacement socks. If I'm going to pay as much, $25, $28 for a pair of socks, I want to know I'm going to get that much my money's worth out of them, which I would absolutely say for sure. Because when you consider the fact with the smart wool socks, I was paying, and this is the cheapest I could find them because I have little feet. I can get away with wearing kids' shoes and kids' socks, which means I can pay less money for them. So $10 a pair and still wearing holes in them within 6 months. Well, I've had these, I think I paid, most of these I pay around $25 a pair for. And I have had them for over 2 years now. So that's like 4 pairs of smart wool socks, which would have cost me $40 going with the child size socks, which they're probably more than that now. I haven't looked at them in a few years now. So yes, just this alone, I've got my money's worth out of them by them lasting me for longer than 2 years. So I'm very happy with them. And then again, you know, if you go to like the cheap Chinese made ones, like where you can buy them in bulk, those typically a month, 2 months, I've already worn a hole in them. Now, I do darn socks. So if these ever got a hole in them, instead of me looking at getting a replacement pair, I mean, I'm looking at by the time they get a hole in the sole, they're probably going to be pretty beat up all over. And that's the way I like it. But when it comes to all the other socks, I usually would wear a hole in the sole. The rest of the sock would be in perfect shape. So I would darn the socks. And that's great. I like knowing how to darn socks. I've darned many, many socks. I have a couple of videos out on darning socks, which I'll link to the most recent one down below. But it's really nice if I can make an investment in quality socks that I don't have to darn within a month to 6 months of wearing them. In fact, I was getting to where when I'd buy the cheaper socks, I would just darn them as soon as I'd get them before I'd even wear them, just to add some support, some strength to them right off the bat. You wonder about, you know, are you really saving any money when you're having to put your time into darning the socks, and when your time could be better spent doing something else and saving money in a different area. So these are all the kinds of things I have to weigh out. But anyway, I'll put a link to Darn Tough Socks down below if you'd like to check them out. And again, they're not cheap, but in the long run, they are definitely worth it, and they're made here in the USA. Now the shoes, let's get to the Kiziks real quick. And I absolutely love my Kiziks. Now I have actually a couple pair of just plain black ones. They all have different jobs. So I have a pair of plain black ones that's simply for wearing out when I don't really feel like wearing my cowboy boots. My cowboy boots are more like if I want to look nice. I got a couple pair of Justins and a pair of Ariats that I just love. But those are more when I want to look nice. If I want to go somewhere and wear nicer looking shoes, but I want to be totally comfortable and be able to have something super easy to slip off and on and off, like when we go to our friend's house, I wear these. And then I also keep a pair next to each door of the house. Then I have my camo pair that's just for all around inside the house work. And these are the ones that get worn the most. I'm in and out of these ones all day long. All day long in and out of these. I am loving them. Now, again, I've only been wearing them for 6 months, but the reason I want to go ahead and do this update now is because if you watch my original video, which I'll put down below, I had bought a leather pair for the backyard because that's the messiest yard, the wettest yard. That's where I'm most likely to get yucky when I'm going out there. So it's a pair that always stays outside. They do not come into the house because that's where all the chicken poop is. And I love that I can slip my feet into them, go do my chores out back any time of the year, and my feet stay dry, and my hands are almost always full of something when I'm going in and out, whether it be I'm carrying some chicken scratch out there, because I do keep the chicken feed and scratch in the house rather than out there, or I'm taking out my jugs of water and filling them up and bringing them back. I've always got something in my hands. And then the summertime, I'm hanging laundry out there. I need to have hands free. I need to have hands free while I'm inside the house. I don't wear my shoes on the carpet, so I got to be able to slip my shoes off and on. But like I said, the inside shoes, the camel ones, those are more for the kitchen, areas like this, areas where we don't have carpet. But I still like to keep them clean so they don't go out in the backyard to get chicken poop on them. So each pairs of shoes have their own job, and I have a set pair by each door so I can easily slip into them and go do what I need to do. I have my front garden shoes. They stay by my front door. Because when I bought the first pair, fell in love with them immediately, and that's all I wear now. It's all I wear. Now, I did have somebody who followed my recommendation, and her and her husband each bought 2 pairs of the Kiziks. And while they liked how easy they were to get on and off, they found that they hurt their feet. Now, I don't know what style they got. Now, I prefer the Progs, and the leather ones are styled just like the Progs, but they have a different name. I think they're called the Fit Vegas. These are the Progs. These are kids size. I was thrilled when they came out with the kids size because the smallest they had in adults was 6, and those are a little big on me. They were okay at first, but they stretched out, and then they're pretty loose. I still wear those ones, but kids ones fit me a lot better. So I have a size 4 in these. I could have still went down to a 3.5, but I decided it'd be better to go ahead and keep just a little bit of room in there. But a lot of people have also been asking about arch support. Now, I know their newest design, by looking at them, it looks like they have even more cushion and more arch support to them than these ones. I don't need that because I don't have a deep arch. Where if you have a deep arch, you might want to look into those. I don't remember what they're called, but I'll put the name of them here and a photo and a picture from the Kizik's website. You might want to look into those and then read up on those if you're interested in buying a pair. It could be the people that bought those ones, maybe they bought the style that I'm wearing, and they might not have been suitable to their feet. But for me, again, I'm in and out of these shoes all day long, and they do not hurt my feet. I find them very comfortable, and pretty much every time I'm slipping my feet into them. It's become a joke now. It's like, have I said yet how much I'm loving these shoes? I've never had a pair of shoes I felt that way about until now. And that's why I bought so many pairs of them. But I just wanted to give you an update on that. I'm not going to say that they're for everyone. I just know for me and my very busy and active lifestyle, I want to have shoes that I can get dirty and places I want to keep them clean and so on and so forth. I don't mind having several pairs of these. Now, one thing I wanted to throw out is when I did that review and I said I bought the leather shoes, there were several people that came in and said, well, you know, you can get you don't have to pay the $20 more to have leather shoes when you can just buy a can of, I forget what you call it, but like a polyurethane or something that you spray on your shoes to make them waterproof. Well, that can be almost $20 to buy that, $10 to $20, and that is something you have to reapply every so often, and it's not always perfect. I would rather pay $20 to already have them be leather, and they have been holding up very well for me, and that's why main reason I wanted to do this is because we live in rain country. A low average amount of rain for us is 120 inches per year. Most of that we get in the winter time, and my backyard gets sloshy and muddy and gross, and those shoes have been holding up just fine. I wasn't sure how well they were going to do through the winter, but I'm having not one bit of problem with those. I love those. Now these ones are more of a knitted kind of thing. Well, I wouldn't wear those out back in the winter time. When I'm just running out front to get the mail or whatever, right at this time of year wearing shoes like that, I've actually walked through puddles in those and not got wet because the sole is high enough up. But if you're walking through long, wet grass, the tops of your feet can get a little damp. That's not going to happen with the leather shoes. You got to look at the kind of things that you think you'll be doing in them and then decide which shoes are going to be best for you as well as your foot shape. And like I said, read up on the different styles. And I do think that newer one does have more arch support for those who need that. So anyway, there's my update on the socks and the shoes. And I'll probably do another update, at least on the shoes, maybe after I've had them for a year. So if you're wanting to wait another 6 months to see if I still feel the same way, I'll definitely let you know. And if they've worn out a lot more quickly than I think they should have, I'll definitely let you know that. But for as much as I wear these and the leather ones out back, there's no real signs of wear. And so I'm so far very, very happy with them. All right. Well, any thoughts, ideas, if you have Kiziks and you love them or you hate them or whatever, or the Darn Tough socks, share with us down below. Oh, and I also want to say another brand of socks that's pretty good is the Grip 6. I did end up with a couple pairs of those because they sent them to me for free when I did a review on their wallet, which I love. Also made in the USA. And so far, those ones are holding up just as well as the Darn Tough. I just like the Darn Tough ones a little bit better. Anyway, share with us your ideas down below. What are your favorite brands? What do you like best? What's held up best for you? If you have high arches, what kind of shoes are best for you? So other people can get some ideas from you as well. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.